I told my daughters that I was moving on with the separation anyway. My wife had been giving me the silent treatment for 3 weeks after I brought up divorce. Like, she would literally pretend I didn't exist when I walked into a room. She'd make dinner for herself and the girls, but leave nothing for me. Even when I tried talking about basic stuff like paying bills or picking up groceries, she'd just stare at her phone like I was invisible. The whole thing started because I finally had enough of her spending every weekend at her sister's house instead of being home with our family. Don't get me wrong, I love Rachel, but when your wife is gone every Saturday and Sunday for months straight, it starts feeling like you're a single dad raising 2 kids alone. I brought it up one night after the girls went to bed, thinking we could just talk about it like adults. Boy, was I wrong. She completely lost it, screaming about how I was trying to control her and that she needed space from our suffocating life. That's when I knew this marriage was done. You don't call your family suffocating unless you've already checked out mentally. So after those 3 weeks of being treated like I had the plague in my own house, I sat down with Emma and Sophia while they were eating cereal before school. Emma's 14 and Sophia just turned 12, so they're old enough to understand what's happening without me sugarcoating everything. Girls, I need to tell you something important, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Your mom and I are getting separated. I know she's probably hoping I'll change my mind or that we'll magically work things out, but I'm moving forward with this either way. Emma immediately stopped eating and just stared at her Lucky Charms getting soggy. Sophia asked if it was her fault because she got a C in math last month. That almost broke me right there. I told them this had nothing to do with them and that sometimes adults just grow apart, which felt like such a lame explanation, but what else do you say? The crazy part was, my wife walked into the kitchen right as I was explaining that I'd already talked to a lawyer. She froze in the doorway holding her coffee mug, probably expecting me to still be tiptoeing around her feelings like I had been for weeks. When she realized I was serious about moving forward without her input, her face went completely white. "You can't just make this decision without me," she said, her voice shaking, but that's exactly what she'd been doing for months, making the decision to check out of our marriage without discussing it with me first. I told the girls they could ask me anything they wanted later, but right now they needed to finish breakfast and catch their bus. After they left, my wife finally broke her 3-week silence and started crying, saying she thought I was just having a phase and would get over it. That's when I realized she'd been treating this whole thing like I was having some kind of midlife crisis instead of genuinely being unhappy. She actually thought ignoring me would make the problem disappear. The level of delusion was honestly impressive. I moved into my brother's spare room that weekend. My daughters come stay with me every other weekend now, and honestly, they seem way less stressed than when we were all walking on eggshells at home.